Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 14 single game showdown on Thursday Night Football between the New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Rams. Last week, the New England Patriots absolutely throttled the Los Angeles Chargers, and now the Rams are going to try and exact some revenge for the city of Los Angeles on these New England Patriots, even though they have absolutely no connection or correlation to the Chargers aside from sharing the same building for which the Chargers pay rent. So I don't know where I'm going with this entire intro, but here we are. I'm going to take a look and break down this slate, taking a look at the single game showdown games that we have. Obviously, we're going to go over the different correlations. There's not very much news on this slate for us to break down, although because the New England Patriots run their offense the way that they do, we can change a little bit of the correlation rules that we normally utilize on a showdown slate. You know what I love to see? I love to see my mentions after showdowns recently with so many people coming up with the winning combinations, whether it's in the main tournaments, the mini max games, whether it's single entry or 20 max on those single game showdown slates. You guys have really picked it up over the course of the season. You've applied all the rules that we've put into play, and we're seeing a lot of winners both in my Twitter mentions, people that are replying on YouTube, as well as in the Discord. If you have not joined the Discord yet, make sure that you click that link down below, hit show more in the description, jump in the Discord. That's where the conversation goes on with NBA coming. Those of you who are going to be trying out NBA for the first time, we have free rooms in the Discord. We also have VIP rooms. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, leave a reply to this video. Anything that you do that costs you absolutely no money helps the channel. So click a damn thing. If you want to get more involved, you can always hit that join button. You get a nice little VIP badge right next to your name that will progress the longer you are subbed to the channel, the longer you are a channel member here on YouTube. And the value add, the extra added bonus is that when you get in Discord and you link your Discord to your YouTube account, you get access to the VIP rooms, the sub only rooms, combining both my sub base on twitch.tv and all of my members here who have elected to pay the membership fee per month on YouTube, get access to those rooms. Those are the most active rooms in the Discord, 5,000 strong in the Discord overall. The majority of our Twitch members are active in there, and we're getting a lot more YouTube channel members that are coming along as well, forming a great community of people for you to surround yourself with people who are immersed in daily fantasy, who eat, sleep, breathe it. That is the best way for you to get better. So if you wanted to get in there, have people to bounce ideas off of, because DFS can be a very isolating game. We've built up a community over the last 3.5, 4 years in that Discord. Would love to meet you in there. So drop by. Let's go into the video without any further ado. That's a long intro. The intros are what they are, but some people hate them. Some people love them. Some people skip through. Some people like hearing my voice. I don't know. Jared Goff is going to project as one of the highest median scoring guys on this slate. He's going to also come along with him with a very solid ceiling based on what he can do. He is the highest priced player on the slate because quarterbacks are just really high priced, because you have to have them in your lineup more often than not. Every winning lineup basically ever that's been involved in a showdown has had a quarterback in it. Not every single one, but most of them have, because the quarterbacks have the highest median score projection on any slate. You don't have to use them in the captain. In fact, unless they're unicorn type, quarterbacks, guys like Mahomes, Josh Allen from the other night, even though you could have built the winning lineup, I think the winning lineup ended up having Beasley at captain tied to Josh Allen. But guys like Lamar Jackson, guys like Kyler Murray, when he is active and running, it's much easier for them to get to a ceiling game. Now, Jared Goff would have to do some crazy things. He does not run in touchdowns very often. He had 4 attempts for 1 yard. He did get a sneak last week. He has 3 rushing touchdowns on the year, but no real yards to speak of. No rushing upside like you have with Cam Newton. And if the Patriots are forced to pass a lot, Cam Newton does have double bonus possibility, albeit very, very remote. So as usual, if we're going to play Jared Goff at quarterback, I'm probably going to limit him to 7 or 8% across my 150. We're going to build 2 groups. The first group is going to be every single pass catcher and kicker on the Rams. So not going to include the running backs in this one. Will include Reynolds, will include Higbee, will also include Jefferson and Everett. Obviously, we can't put any more in here for right now. We're going to include the Rams kicker. Be aware 90 minutes before lock for who the active kicker is on the Rams. We'll have that information on Thursday, something that Discord will have for you locked down. If you don't follow the correct accounts on Twitter, it'll be announced, because inactives always come out 90 minutes before kick. That's just the way that the NFL works. Much easier in terms of knowing who's playing and who's not, unless somebody gets COVID during warmups. Shouts out to Des Bryant. We're going to include at least 2 of these guys and the kicker and everybody else that's considered a pass catcher for the Rams in our Jared Goff captain lineups. We're also going to build another group, bringing it back with pretty much every viable offensive player on the New England Patriots. So anybody that we think is viable that's not a kicker, Sony Michel, everybody that we want. Damiere Byrd is extremely cheap at 800. I expect him to be very, very popular. Much like McKenzie on the Tuesday night football game, or was it Tuesday or it was Monday night football with the Bills. Tuesday night was Ravens versus Cowboys. There's games on literally every night of the week now, and it's driving me bonkers already in week 14, but I'm trying to keep them straight with all these island games. So Damiere Byrd at 800 is kind of in the same boat, a little bit more expensive. Well, I guess 4 times more expensive than Isaiah McKenzie was, but you don't need much when somebody's this cheap. So like Damiere Byrd only needs like 2-3 catches to pay off this salary. If he ends up getting you like 8 points or something ridiculous like that, he gives you a path to essentially having all the studs in your lineup. So he's probably going to be the most popular, super cheap option on the night. We're going to include at least one of every offensive player in that group with Jared Goff at captain. Now, the other side is the interesting change, right? So Cam Newton, questionable. If he's out, then Stidham's going to be the guy, right? So assuming that Cam Newton is the guy as of right now, he's got a tummy issue. His stomach hurts. So assuming he'll play, big tough dude, always plays through injury, sometimes to his detriment, as we saw before he had that surgery last year. He went too far with it. He had to admit that he was hurt, but he didn't. And he's a tough guy, tries to play for his team. I get it. Makes a lot of sense. Assuming he's going to tough this out and play, he's not somebody that you always need to tie to multiple pass catchers. Now, if this is a game where you think that the Rams are going to run away, especially in single game showdown, yes, we pay attention to the spread. Yes, we pay attention to the team totals and everything else, but you also have to build lineups if you're trying to be contrarian that tell you a different story. And what story are you telling in that situation? So if you think that the Patriots are going to play from behind and they're going to be chasing, kind of like they were against Houston, right? Kind of like they were in this game against Seattle, where Cam is forced to throw it 30 plus times and is also going to chip in with his legs, which means that there's theoretically, if they can keep pace with him, right? But they're just playing from behind, but scoring points, like a 35-25 type of game where the Patriots are scoring touchdowns and they're getting themselves close to the end zone. And he is possibly getting you the 300-yard bonus through the air. He's also going to give you a nice solid floor with his ability on the ground. Could reach, multiple touchdowns through the air, but also has increased rushing touchdown upside. Usually we pair a quarterback with 2 of his pass catchers. With somebody that's being utilized like Cam this year, I don't know that you need to pair him with 2 pass catchers. We can set this group to make sure that it pairs Cam with at least 1 instead of the at least 2 rule that we normally use. And then you can flip it and say, we're going to use with the Rams, we're going to use everybody here. And you can say at least 2 of the Rams if that's the story that you're telling. All the offensive players, including Goff. It's not uncommon to have a captain quarterback with the opposing captain in that lineup. Now, the other side, if we're going to have Cooper Kupp as our captain, we want to make sure that Jared Goff is going to be in that lineup, because if Cooper Kupp goes bonkers in a game, it's also likely that Jared Goff has gone nuts in that game too. Same thing goes for Robert Woods. These 2 guys kind of go hand in hand with one another. Robert Woods has been the more utilized one recently. They're both super talented wide receivers, and it's not possible to really shut down both of them. And a lot of times last week, with no touchdowns between them, 11 targets and 10 catches for Woods and Cooper Kupp last week. Also 8 catches on 9 targets. They get the vast majority of the work from Jared Goff. It's probably not the way to go. I've been fading the tight ends on this team all season long because their usage is just not all that predictable. But in a single game situation, it's not out of the realm of possibility that one of the tight ends could catch 2 touchdowns, especially the way that Sean McVay runs his offense. And those of you who have followed me on Twitter for years, and those of you who have been around the show here on YouTube or on Twitch, you guys know I don't trust Sean McVay. I never have, and I never will. I swear to you. Like, he's got all these fantastic weapons, and I feel like he gets caught up in fancy play syndrome more often than not, where the Rams just need to do what the Rams need to do. But he gets close and he'll do some funky things, and he'll put different packages out on the field, and he's always lying to the press to try and use gamesmanship and everything. It's unnecessary. Just out execute your opponents. You have better talent than they do on both sides of the ball. You don't need to play the games, just play the game the right way. But he is a good coach. He does what he has to do. He's just not somebody that us fantasy managers can really trust, especially not the coach speak. So when it comes to that, it's just a weird situation. Now, going to the Patriots, if you're going to play the running backs in captain, you're probably not going to pair them with the Rams defense on the other side. If you wanted to play Cam Newton at captain and not exclude the defense from the Rams being on the other side of that, that's a different story. Because if a quarterback throws a pick 6, they get the ball right back. Where if a defense is doing very well, the non-pass catching running backs, and the running backs on the Patriots are non-pass catching running backs, with the exception of one James White, who is the pass catching running back on this team. They don't really throw the ball to Sony Michel, and they don't really throw the ball to Harris, as you can see. Same thing goes, as I said, for Sony Michel. They just don't throw him the football. So we know where the ball is going to go. Question is, if you're going to put somebody like Jakobi Meyers in captain, now this is the different story. If Jakobi Meyers has himself a game where we can play him in the captain spot, right? Then yes, it is also likely that Cam Newton is going to have a massive game. So if you're playing pass catchers, I am still going to tie Cam Newton to the pass catchers. You want to limit your captains to, or the players that you are going to be willing to play in captain. You have to be willing to cut that group down from all the players in the slate to only the players that you think have a realistic shot at getting 25 plus points. Because if they don't get that 25 plus points multiplied by 1.5x, you don't really have a shot of having that player win you the showdown. So like, let's say that you said, well, you know what? Al said that Damiere Byrd is super cheap. Unless Damiere Byrd has like 20 plus 25 points at his salary, no matter what else you jam into this lineup, and you can basically jam most everything else into this lineup, one of these guys is going to have a game, more than likely, that's going to be like, this looks really good, right? Like, I got everybody in the lineup. But like, if Cooper Kupp has a 30-point night, or Robert Woods has a 30-point night, or Cam Newton has a 25 to 30-point night, and it doesn't go to Damiere Byrd, one of these guys is going to be your winning captain on that night. So that's why I don't typically go with the cheap players in the captain spot. The last group that I build, we talk about every week. I never really go with double defenses, and I try not to go with defense plus kicker. I'm not going to plug them in now because I don't want to hear it. Like Nick Folk, whatever, just I'm plugging 2 kickers. So I'm going to make a group in Fantasy Labs that's going to say max 1 of either the defense or the kickers. So let's go over to Fantasy Labs and let's take a look at the simple rules that we set. You should be able to do this in whatever lineup builder you use. For the sake of this video, I always profile the builder over on Fantasy Labs. There's a link down below if you wanted to join for a 1-week membership or longer, or a multi-sport membership now that NBA is coming and you can cross over and play both sports. Use their optimizer for both with great projections, or upload your own. Pair your captain quarterback with at least 2 wide receiver, tight end, and kicker from the same team. If you wanted to change this and say including only the Rams, that's fine. Then you build another group that says pair your captain quarterback with at least 1 from including only New England. I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now. Pair your captain quarterback with at least 1 everything from the other team, excluding the kicker. Pair your quarterback or your wide receiver captains with exactly 1 quarterback from the same team. Same for the tight ends. Pair them with the quarterback from the same team, and limit to at most 1 defense or kicker from the same game. Go here, apply settings, boom. We're going to run however many lineups we're going to run. and it builds our lineups for us accordingly. I wanted to thank you guys for joining, and remember that whenever you join a lineup builder or a site with one, it's not as simple as log into the site, tell it to build 150 lineups with no rules, vanilla, just the way that the projections say that they should go, because that's just a more efficient way for you to lose your money. If you were able to do that, every single person would just log in and do that, and this would not really be a game, because we'd have a million people tied for first place. So you really have to do what you have to do to make the lineup builder dance for you. You have to make it build the lineups that you want to build. You have to make sure you have the allocations that you want, that you have the combinations that you want, so that you can have the most success on any slate, whether it's a full game or a main slate, an early slate, a late slate, or a single game showdown, just like this one. Thank you guys for joining. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.